Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of Semen Retention Talk. I'm Johnathan White, and I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can magnetize your ideal life. And today I'm going to be talking about ways you can boost your testosterone and really step into your masculine power. So this is very important, especially this time of year. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going into winter. And typically, this is the most common time when people experience deficiency. The winter seasons, there's less light. It's getting darker, it's colder out, and some people get seasonal depression. Your hormones start to decline, your sexual energy and your overall vitality tends to decline in the winter months. So I'm going to share some things you guys can use to stay vital, stay healthy, and to stay healthy and energized even in the winter months. So I'm going to get into that here. So first of all, we live in a very toxic world. Our food is being poisoned, our water is being poisoned, even the air is having chemicals sprayed into it. So it's very important to, first of all, understand that there's toxicity in many, many things. Not just the foods we eat, but the products. Here in the U.S., if you go into a grocery store, it's like 80% of household products are toxic. Artificial fragrances, perfumes, air fresheners, the scented things you plug into the wall and they scent the room, all have chemicals in them that disrupt your endocrine glands, disrupt your hormone levels. And on top of that, our food is poisoned with pesticides, genetically modified plants that the body can't digest properly, and a lot of, phytoestrogens, things like that. So overall, testosterone levels are decreasing for men across the world. And on top of this, all the fear porn we're being bombarded with through the news, the mainstream media, is really taking a toll on people's mental health and their physical health as well, because stress is the number one cause of disease, right? And also really negatively impacts your energy levels and your hormonal levels. So we want to, as people in the smaller world, we want to maximize our health, our vitality, and as men, have healthy testosterone levels, have healthy hormonal levels, have that abundance of Jing. Jing is your vitality, it's your physical essence. So how to keep your energy levels high, how to boost your testosterone. First and foremost is reducing stress and getting rest, getting proper sleep. And this is not always an easy thing to do in this world right now because there is so much stress. So first of all, turn off the news. Don't spend time browsing through the news and things like that. Like I know people who the first thing they do every morning is check the news. How many people died today from coronavirus? It's like whenever you're living in that state of contraction, that state of looking for fearful things, it takes a major toll on your mind and your body. So stop focusing on fear porn. Focus on relaxation. Spend time in nature. Again, shut off the news. Don't spend so much time on social media. Spend time in nature, relax, have some sort of relaxation program for yourself, nourish yourself. This is very important. Stress, again, is the number one cause of disease, number one cause of illness, and of course, low hormonal levels as well. So stress reduction is very important. When you're stressed out, the body's, the adrenaline glands are pumping cortisol into your blood. It reduces testosterone levels. So reduce the stress in your life. Sleep is extremely important. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's like no matter how healthy your diet is, no matter how much you're exercising or how good your exercise program is, if you're not getting enough sleep, nothing else is really going to matter. That's the most important thing, is getting healthy sleep. Maybe this for you is 7 hours a night, 8 hours a night, whatever. In general, you want to sleep as long as you need to sleep, and that is extremely important, getting your sleep. Avoid phone screens, blue lit screens. Avoid any electronic screens within 2 to 3 hours of going to bed. You will sleep much better. When you look at a blue lit screen at the nighttime, it causes cortisol to release, causes that adrenaline, that stress hormone to release into your body. Not a good idea at night. Suppresses melatonin, which is what allows you to get quality sleep. So avoid screens before going to bed, and you'll get much better sleep. Exercise is very important. Our bodies are meant to move. They're meant to Exercise, right? If you sit in your house all day, sitting in front of the TV, sitting in front of your computer all day, your vitality is going to suffer. So get up, exercise, move your blood, get your heart pumping. Extremely, extremely important for your health and your vitality. Specifically, strength training, working out the major muscle groups of the body, really helps build testosterone. It boosts your testosterone, boosts human growth hormones. So I highly recommend weightlifting if you're looking to have more of that young masculine essence. I like to go to the gym a few times a week and work out. Also, diet. Obviously, you want to be eating quality foods. You don't want to eat processed foods. You don't want to be eating things that are full of refined carbohydrates, refined sugars. These things are terrible for you. Avoid GMOs. Avoid pesticide-laced foods. Try to eat organic quality foods that are as close to their original form as possible. So try not to eat as many things out of boxes and packages, right? Try to eat fresh, whole foods. Specifically foods that help to boost testosterone in men. First of all, I recommend avoiding soy and wheat, gluten products, as well as, for some people, dairy as well, because soy is one of the most genetically modified plants now, and it has phytoestrogens. Some studies show that it may raise estrogen levels in men and decrease testosterone. So you may want to avoid or limit soy in your diet. Gluten in general, at least here in the United States, our wheat supply is very, very toxic. The glyphosate from the pesticides, the chemicals they spray on the wheat, it gets interlaced with the gluten, and that's what causes all kinds of issues in your gut. So definitely recommend avoiding that. Testosterone boosting foods, some supplements you can eat, getting enough fats, getting healthy fats, like avocados, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, whatever. Animal products can help. If you do animal products, then red meats, grass-fed meats, and things like that can be helpful. If you don't do animal products, there's other things you can do. But black sesame seeds and pumpkin seeds are really great for boosting your testosterone levels. Mucuna pruins, I'm not sure how to say the last part, but mucuna is a really awesome supplement that helps, it balances out your dopamine levels and also has been shown to improve human growth hormone in the body. So mucuna is amazing. Maca root boosts your fertility. It boosts semen production, both for men and women. It boosts fertility. Tribulus, I forget what it's like, it starts with a T. Tribulus something, Tribulus, is another testosterone booster. Tongkat Ali, I like to take these two together. Those have been shown to boost testosterone. Also, taking a good kidney yin herbal tonic. I like to take Shou Wu formulation by Dragon Herbs. That has Hisho Wu in it, has goji berries. Goji berries are amazing too, lots of minerals. Zinc, magnesium are very important to get enough of. You need these for hormonal production. Boron as well. You can actually get boron from borax. This is something they sell pretty commonly. It's just like a mineral powder, which it's sold as a laundry detergent, but it's just the mineral itself. You can put like a little sprinkle in your water and you get a good source of boron from that. That will boost your testosterone as well. Also, semen retention for men, extremely important. Regulate your ejaculation. Learn to go longer periods of time without ejaculating. You will build up your gene, your masculine essence. When you're masturbating to porn every day, you're releasing your life force, and this is also secreting prolactin into your blood, which inhibits testosterone levels. You're releasing a lot of your zinc as well. So avoid ejaculating, try to cut it back. Learn to have non-ejaculatory sex. This is a sexual kung fu way. Semen retention makes men much more masculine, gives you much more energy, more power, more vitality. So highly encourage this to all men. Also, exercising your genitals, right? It's a use it or lose it situation. If you don't exercise your endocrine glands, they can atrophy. So obviously this may sound paradoxical to what I just said, but for men, having non-ejaculatory sexual activity actually boosts your hormonal levels. Obviously, you need to learn how to channel that energy upward so that you can have sex, experience sexual pleasure without ejaculating. You can even have non-ejaculatory orgasms. That's really what sexual kung fu is all about. So I've talked about this a lot before. I've got some videos on my YouTube channel about having non-ejaculatory orgasms, but that's very important. What else? Sunlight. If you can get sunlight, extremely important. Obviously, as we're going to the winter months, it's difficult in some places, but getting sun whenever it's out, very, very important. Vitamin D. Take a vitamin D supplement if you aren't able to get regular amounts of sunlight. You need vitamin D for hormonal production and for overall health, mood, and balance. So I think it's pretty good resources, right? So there it is, boosting your masculine essence, which is really important right now. We need men who are in their power. We need men who have self-control and self-discipline. We are experiencing a generation of men who are becoming slaves, quite frankly. You know, this instant gratification addiction in our world. Men who are addicted to porn, addicted to video games, addicted to substances and things like that. This trains you to be rewarded for doing nothing, right? You're sitting on porn, you're getting that dopamine hit after dopamine hit. So you're not going to work to achieve something, right? Because you're getting that instant gratification. This makes men lazy, unable to focus, unable to work for things, right? So try to cut out those instant gratification habits, those activities that give you that unnatural hit of dopamine, like video games. Porn's the biggest one. Taking drugs, spending excessive amount of time on social media, things like that. In fact, just in general, avoiding technology is very important. It's not very compatible with human health. You know, the electromagnetic fields that are generated from our electronic devices disturb our body's energy flow. They disturb our hormone levels. They can even cause, you know, cancers and things like that. So retain your semen, let go of your addictive patterns, keep yourself healthy. And, you know, anyone can thrive in this time. I know there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty, but stay in your center, stay in your heart. Don't focus on the dark side agenda that's being blasted through the television screen 24/7. Focus on what's here and now. Focus on spending time in nature, keeping yourself in a high vibe, keeping yourself in harmony, in the light, in love, joy, passion, purpose. And you will thrive at this time and create beauty in your life, right? Instead of just creating out of fear-based programs that, you know, a lot of people are stuck in. So, all right, guys, I'm going to answer some questions now. That was a mouthful. So go ahead and send your questions in. Vegan diet versus non-vegan testosterone effects. Okay, so diet. Should I be vegan? Should I not be vegan? Ultimately, it comes down to your body type. Your blood type as well, right? Some people do well on a vegan diet. They thrive. They feel healthier. Some people, it makes them deathly ill. I personally tried the vegan diet and found it wasn't for me. You know, after a few months, my vitality and my libido, you know, and I did everything that you're supposed to be doing when you're on the vegan diet. I was supplementing with vitamin B12, I was supplementing with iron, all kinds of things. And it just wasn't a good fit for my body. I felt like I was missing something, right? So ultimately you must learn to, I don't recommend following fad diets. You know, like we tend to, especially in this day and age, we read all this theoretical information about diet and we're like, oh, this sounds really good. So we tend to eat from our brains, right? Without understanding that maybe that's not for my body type. Maybe it's for his body type, but not hers, right? So ultimately you have to learn how to listen to your body and what it wants. Muscle testing is a great way to do this. I learned how to muscle test, and that's basically how I learn what's good for my body, what's not good for my body. So there's no single diet that works for everyone. In general, though, eating whole foods, eating non-GMO, organic foods, you know, very important. Okay, have you gotten blue balls doing semen retention? And if so, what do you do to remedy? Yes, I did experience this, especially in the beginning. Blue balls, I don't experience it anymore. Blue balls is basically stagnant energy. So you're practicing semen retention, all this sexual energy is building up in your genitals. You're not used to having this much sexual energy in your body, and it gets a bit stuck in the beginning. There's nowhere else for it to go, and it gets a little compressed down there. You have that pain of blue balls, right? The remedy of this is to learn how to circulate the sexual energy out of your genitals. This is really essential if you're going to be doing semen retention. Check out my video on testicle breathing on YouTube, and I share a practice that will help you avoid blue balls completely. Also massaging your testicles, doing Kegels and reverse Kegels, keep the chi moving, keep this area of your body healthy and free from stagnance. But I also made a YouTube video on avoiding blue balls as well. In Montauk Chi's book, he says when doing solo cultivation, you should stimulate and massage your whole body, including your nipples. Is it okay to touch your nipples while in semen retention? It's fine. I'm not encouraging body shame. I'm not encouraging suppression of sexuality. You can experience all the sexual pleasure you want and do semen retention. The thing is that you have to rewire yourself from this goal-oriented approach of obsessively seeking peak orgasms, ejaculatory orgasms, shifting from that and simply being able to enjoy sexual pleasure without needing to release your life force and being able to have these internal full body orgasms. So whatever supports you in that path is great. Liquid iodine protocol is amazing. What are your thoughts on that? It increases testosterone, but possibly kills some sperm cells. So taking iodine, it depends. If you're iodine deficient, then yes, you need iodine. But if you have too much, it can cause excessive thyroid activity. I tried taking iodine because, again, one of these things, it's like theoretical, everyone should take this. And it actually made my heart race and gave me insomnia. So again, it's about balance here. If you're lacking iodine, you should increase it. If you have plenty of iodine in your diet, then it might not be good to supplement it. Okay, I've been trying to channel and move sexual energy, but I'm not sure if what I feel is just my imagination or is there a point that it's just in your imagination? Okay, so basically, how do you know if you're doing these practices, if you're actually moving, if you're actually accomplishing anything or not, right? I highly recommend you work with my Qigong playlist, especially the most recent videos, because you will learn to feel Qi very tangibly. Here's the thing is like, with some of the internal practices, you can be doing like, moving your sexual energy and not really feeling it tangibly, but it's still moving. You're still having an effect of it. But when you're practicing Qigong, really helps you to tangibly feel the Qi. You'll feel your hands light up. Eventually you'll feel your arms light up. It feels like this hydraulic hot lava fluid moving through your body. It feels incredible once you cultivate your Qi, right? And then that will develop your sensitivity and feeling sexual energy as well. But it's pretty obvious when you're working with aroused sexual energy. For example, you have an erection, you're very aroused, and then you do the practice to draw the energy up. Did your erection subside? Is your arousal less? You know that you're successful with it, right? But it really is a matter of practice, continuing to do it, and just notice how you feel. Is your energy higher? Do you feel less like driven by sexual impulses? Kind of the first signs of understanding that you are in fact successfully moving your sexual energy. Did semen retention for a long time, but it made me more ungrounded, and I think I have blocked energy flow. What do you recommend for exercises? So this is pretty common. Men get into semen retention because they just want to build all this energy, but you have to understand that you need a body that can handle an increased amount of chi, increased amount of sexual energy in it, right? Or else it's like sending a 500-volt current through a really faulty old wiring system, right? You have to upgrade your body, your physical body, and your energy body to be able to handle this increase of sexual energy. So that's why I always teach practices. I don't recommend doing semen retention unless you're going to do the work to open the channels of the body and be able to safely contain this energy. And grounding is a huge part of it. I have a whole week of my 6-week course, which you learn how to ground your sexual energy. Very important. So exercises to overcome this. Microcosmic orbit, that's one of the essentials. I have a guided video on my YouTube channel. Also doing Qigong, very, very important. I have a Qigong playlist on YouTube. How long does it take for the channel to open once I start with this exercise? So opening the energy channels of your body, It really varies person to person. It's really a process, because if your energy channels were completely closed, you wouldn't be alive. So there's always, some state of openness in them. It's just a matter of opening that wider and wider. The more you practice, the more wide and open your energy channels will become. So for some people, they'll see great results in the first few days. For some people, it'll take a few weeks, a few months. Don't worry too much about the timeline. Just do the practice. Learn to enjoy the practice and see the benefits that you get from it. And that will inspire you to keep practicing. Should you make your PC muscle too tight, or both? If you have an excessively tight PC muscle, most people are talking about the BC muscle in the pelvic floor. When they say PC muscle, there's several different muscle groups down there, but basically having an excessively tight pelvic floor, muscles can cause premature ejaculation, because that muscle group is wired into the nerves of the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response, which ejaculation is connected to. You'll notice when you're being sexually stimulated, if you squeeze your pelvic floor really tight, your penis feels a lot more sensitive, and you'll actually feel like you're getting close to the point of ejaculation quicker. So it is important to have a strong pelvic floor, but you need to be able to keep it relaxed during sexual stimulation. So that's why I only recommend doing Kegels if you do reverse Kegels as well, to balance that out. Or else you'll just have hypertension in your pelvic floor. Okay, I tried getting into the free Immortal Energy Arts videos and it wouldn't let me open past the first video. Do you know how to get past this? So my Immortal Energy Arts free training series, go to immortalenergyarts.com to sign up for it. Each video will be emailed to you. So it's a 4-video sequence. On day 1, you sign up, you get a link to a video in your email. The next day, you'll get another link to a video. So just keep checking your email over the next few days, and you will get the next video training. Okay, the best sexual positions to help control arousal. So for men, there's one area of the penis that typically triggers the ejaculation, and that's so this is the penis here. Okay, it's the frenulum right here. This is basically the ejaculation trigger point for a man. That area is extremely sensitive. You'll find that stimulating that often causes involuntary tension response in the pelvic floor. So any sexual position where there's not a lot of pressure placed here is going to help you last longer. So if you're on top, then you can direct more where your penis is, stimulating your partner. Or if your partner's on top, you can kind of communicate with them to avoid stimulating that area too much. Obviously, like a doggy style position is going to put a lot of pressure on the frenulum. So if you have trouble lasting long, then you may want to avoid that position. Okay, raw eggs. Raw eggs can be a great gene source, but you have to be careful where you get them from. So if someone's asking if raw eggs will give you salmonella, it's only the mass-produced chicken eggs that have salmonella in them, because they're raised in these tiny little cages in disease-ridden conditions. So of course their eggs are going to be disease-ridden as well. So if you get quality pasture-raised eggs, then you can eat those raw, but of course do so at your own risk. But yeah, a healthy chicken has a healthy egg that has no problems with it. I have had raw eggs every now and then. Cold showers can be great. They can. There's been some studies showing that it boosts testosterone and reduces cortisol, but you have to be careful if you have if you're sick or something, if you're fighting something, if your immune system's weak, then the cold can take a toll on your body. Or if you have weak kidney energy, if you have low vitality, the cold can kind of agitate that as well. So yeah, it's all about balance. Okay. I heard somewhere that nipple stimulation for men increases prolactin just like ejaculation does. Is this just nonsense? I don't think it's as intense as an ejaculation does. I haven't really looked into this myself, but try it. If you feel extremely lethargic and exhausted after nipple stimulation, then maybe it does increase prolactin. If you don't feel that, then it's probably not a big deal. Yeah, maca root's great. I take it most days. It's a sexual energy booster. Okay, DHEA supplements. Someone is asking about this. You have to be careful when you're taking some sort of like hormone supplement, like DHEA, or if you're taking like testosterone therapy, because um, I think you should only do so under the like supervision of a practitioner, a physician, a naturopath, whatever. They'll have a better idea of what may be good for your body. Because if you start taking all these hormones into your body, it can kind of like throw off your body's ability to actually be able to produce them themselves. So it's all about what does your specific body actually need versus just like I need to take all these supplements and go crazy. With the Angian method, would you take a warm or cold shower afterwards? Which one would be better for penis growth? I think it would be better to have heat on it, but I'm not exactly sure because cold can kind of cause contraction and I don't know. You could try it yourself, but I would say warm might be better for that one. The necklace. This is the Jedi key, Dhjedi by Arcturus Ra. He's a cool guy from Sedona. It's a shape, ancient Egyptian shape. Actually, it attracts photons. Do you believe in God or any of the prophets in the major world religions? I do believe that there is a conscious creation to everything. I don't really follow, mainstream religions. I don't really have a dogmatic principle to my beliefs, but I think it's pretty obvious that everything is an intelligent creation. We're in this system of everything working together, and our bodies are phenomenal, extremely advanced technology. So clearly, like there's some intelligence to everything. It's impossible that everything is just a random, particles bumping into each other. There's an intelligence and a consciousness behind everything. We're all a part of that, right? We're like cells in a cosmic body. Is there a specific practice that helps with anger management on semen retention? Yeah, so this is a symptom of stagnant energy, and anger relates to the liver. So there's a practice you can do to release energy from your liver. I'll just show you really quick. So you inhale, feel like you're breathing in green into every cell of your body, especially into the liver, which is underneath the right side of your ribs. You're breathing in green from all the trees, the grass. So you inhale up. And then feel like as you exhale, you're breathing out a cloud of smoke from your liver, and you exhale with a shh sound, like SH. And feel anger releasing as you do that. That will help to clear that stagnant chi from your liver. But I made a video on basically feeling angry on semen retention and how you can overcome that on YouTube. How long does it take you to sexual kung fu? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Like, how long does it take me to learn sexual kung fu, or how long do I practices daily? I'm not exactly sure. What period of time do you retain for now? Well, I've been talking about how I've experimented with many different periods of time retaining semen, and what works the best for me, what makes me feel the most balanced, the most healthy and vital and high energy without having like excessive, symptoms. Every 4 to 6 weeks, I will release during sex with my partner, and that works the best for me because then and on top of that, doing the sexual kung fu practices where I know how to draw the energy out of the semen, I don't feel any I don't even feel like I've ejaculated at that point, right? But overall, that keeps me the most balanced. I used to go for longer, and sometimes it just felt like just too much yang qi in my body. So for me, I feel great at that timeline. But it took me a few years to get there. Several years ago, it was better for me to go much longer. But as you learn to really build jing and qi in your body, then an ejaculation will not take that much of a toll. No, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, somewhere in that time frame, not 46 weeks. Also, it's kind of come to my attention that if you go for too long in semen retention, the endocrine system tends to atrophy. So you may feel lethargic and your testosterone actually lowers. So I think it's good to actually kind of reset things every now and then for the optimal benefits. With intermittent fasting, should your first meal of the day be something light or heavy? I mean, it depends what works for your body. You can experiment with this. I don't do intermittent fasting anymore right now. I'm off of it because various reasons. I go to a kind of a intuitive medical healer type of person, and they talk to my body and see what my body wants. And my body doesn't want me to do intermittent fasting. And I've actually felt better since I've stopped doing it. So. Alcohol effects on male seed retention. I personally completely avoid alcohol. I think it's a very vile poison that makes people do really stupid things. Alcohol is basically a super concentrated sugar. So it has, this very up and down effect on your mood and your energy and things like that. Personally, it's been years, it's been like at least 5 years since I've even had a sip of alcohol. I never want to have it again. Even when I have even one drink, I just felt terrible the next day. So alcohol, it kind of opens you up to external influences, right? And it will often also kind of put you in your lower centers. It kind of numbs you from your higher power, and it lowers your vibration. So you'll probably be more likely to make decisions you'll regret. And personally, I don't like alcohol at all. I see zero value in it. So I personally choose to avoid it completely. 30-day intervals of semen retention, good. Yeah, that's solid for most people. Just in general, if you ejaculate and you feel exhausted, wiped out, and depleted the next day, then you should probably go for longer. If you don't, then it's a good cycle for you. So if you're doing semen retention, okay, if you're doing longer term semen retention, how do you avoid the testosterone crash around 60 days? You can have sex, have non-ejaculatory sex, do genital massage, things like that. Beyond that, I'm not sure. This was something I couldn't really get beyond myself, which is why I stopped going that long. I just feel better when I don't. How long did it take me to master sexual kung fu? Well, I wouldn't say I'm a master. It's all a process, I'm just farther along in my path, right? But for me, it's an endless journey of developing myself and deepening my practice. I'm still learning. I'm still studying with teachers, deepening my practice in different ways. But it took me a few years. I would say it took me 2 to 3 years to become really prolific in my sexual kung fu practice. How do you prolong ejaculation? You have to be able to keep your body calm, avoid activating the sympathetic nervous system. Usually when you tense up and you start breathing shallowly, or you're thinking too much about the sexual thoughts and sexual stimulation, it will overexcite you and push you over the edge. So being able to keep your breath deep and smooth, keeping your body relaxed, keep your awareness within your body will help you last longer. But I have a free course on ejaculation control. So on Instagram, you can get it through the link in my bio, and there's a link to it on this YouTube video as well. Best tip on how to breathe deeply? Well, you just have to do it, If you're having troubles breathing deeply, then practice breath work, but also massage your diaphragm. So up under the ribs, massage this area. Often people have a lot of stiffness in their diaphragm and their belly area, which leads to very shallow breathing. So massage that, loosen it up, and just do breathing exercises. Do you pray or talk to a higher power at all, or rather focus on internal energy and stillness? I've got some teachers and guides in beyond the physical realm. I'll say that. Did you ever feel like going longer than 4 to 6 weeks was better for you, for what you wanted in life at that time or whatever? Yeah, when I was younger and I didn't have as much gene and vitality built up, then I would go for long periods of time. And that was when I wanted to let go forever because it felt great and I felt really depleted when I ejaculate. But in the past year specifically, my practice has really deepened where I'm doing a lot of Dantian work, like really, really building some Jing and Qi to where like I just have way more sexual energy basically than I ever had, to the point where it just feels like it's a balancing thing to have an ejaculation with my partner every 4 to 6 weeks, as I've said. And otherwise, it's just like it gets out of control, honestly, no matter how much sexual transmutation and practice. And again, it's just for me personally, right now in my path. 2 to 3 years ago, that wasn't the case, but it's just what works for me now. So it's really about, my approach with semen retention is not about this egotistical obsession. I can never ejaculate again because I want to tell everyone that I go, years without ejaculating and, have this number or whatever. It's not about that for me. It's about what makes me feel balanced, what makes me feel healthy, what's practical, what's sustainable. Sometimes I like to give my partner some extra energy during sex, every now and then. So it becomes kind of a cycle, right? So the yang jing is way too much if you go indefinitely. It can be. Basically, if you feel balanced, if you feel good on semen retention, then keep going. It's great. But if you ever still start feeling a really, really, excessive sexual thoughts and impulses, you become a sex fiend or something like that, or just angry and irritable, then you might want to, release a little steam, so to speak, and start over. So me, it's more about having a cycle of building and eventually releasing and starting that over. Plus, it clears out the prostate, which I think is a good idea every now and then. All right, guys, just a few more questions, then I'm going to jump off of here. Yes, that's a Chinese fan on my wall. I learned a Tai Chi fan. It was a Chen-style Tai Chi fan form. That's why I got the fan. But I don't practice it anymore, but it looks cool. Not the fan form. I still do Tai Chi. How do you know when you have achieved full body orgasm? Well, I don't think you'll have to ask. You'll know. But it starts in stages. It's much more subtle in the beginning. So you have to understand it's not like the ejaculatory orgasm. It's not just this huge explosion and then you're empty. It's a buildup. It's an experience. Your whole body is kind of vibrating and resonating with sexual energy. Can you speak more on how to study esoteric history and symbols? Good question. It's not easy to find. History is history is created by those who write the books, right, and those who control the information. Most of what we've been taught is simply not true. The world is. If people knew, it really is the matrix. If people understood the true history of this planet, who they truly are, where they came from, what a human body really is, it's just it's too much for some people to handle, right? But anyways, how do you discover esoteric history? And obviously do your research. Look up Lemuria, look up Atlantis, look up the Anunnaki. The Sumerian text. Zecharia Sitchin has some great works. Drunvalo Melchizedek has some great stuff as well, Okay, psychedelics. A couple of people are asking about this. The thing with drugs is that psychedelics specifically can give you a lot of growth, but It's important not to overdo it with these things because they burn up your gene, they burn up your vital essence to fuel the high that they give. So you'll usually feel a bit depleted and out of it afterwards. And also, it's not like it's easy to get addicted to these things, right? Because it's like you get this false sense of enlightenment. They give you so much information, but the thing is that it's not as empowering as being able to get into those states by yourself. You're always relying on this external source, right? So I think that they can be great tools, but if you rely on them, then it can be a crutch for you, and your practice will suffer in the long term. All right, guys, I got to jump off right now. Thanks everyone for joining. I will see you next time. Take it easy, and yeah, stay woke, my friends. Oh.